Earlier this year, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was re-elected as president of Iran under suspicious circumstances. Ahmadinejad denies the existence of the Holocaust and has called for the destruction of Israel. For Israel and the United Nations alike, his election roused fears that there would be no room for compromise over Iran's worrying nuclear technology ambitions. Today, these fears may have been confirmed. This morning, Iran test-fired some of the longest-range missiles in its arsenal, capable of reaching Israel and US bases in the Gulf. The tests come just days before crucial talks between Iran and the UN about its nuclear program, and many in the West have taken them as a gesture of defiance. Financed by groups from Hamas to Hezbollah, Iran sees developing its own nuclear technology as a sovereign right. Iranian nuclear physicist Behrooz Bayat believes that Iran will use the fear generated by such stunts to gain political control over the UN.
Ich glaube nicht, dass eine iranische Atombombe zur Debatte steht.
I don't think we're talking about Iran building an atom bomb. I rather think that it's about the regime being in a position to force concessions from the West through its potential.
Also potenzielle Fähigkeit, Atombombe bauen zu können. Nicht jetzt aktuell bauen,
Not yet, but at some point, to build an atom bomb.
Vom Westen vor allem Konzessionen erzwingen.
The worry is that the response to this threat will be less than diplomatic. Since the election in June, Iran has ignored many of the requirements of the UN Security Council regarding their nuclear policies. The Iranian Natanz nuclear plant currently runs 4,900 centrifuges of enriched uranium. Although this is low enriched uranium, produced exclusively for civilian purposes, it is feared that with an initial mastering of technology, this could be used for military purposes. Now, Iran has announced the building of a second uranium enrichment plant, despite UN demands that it cease its enrichment activities. Just 20 miles away from Isfahan, one of the most beautiful cities in the Middle East, lies the sanctum of nuclear Iran. Laboratories at this nuclear plant are constructed deep underground, protected from potential airstrikes, particularly from the Israeli military. In Israel, the public followed current events in the Islamic theocracy religiously. Iran's controversial nuclear program has met with most resistance from Israel. For Israelis, it is simply a threat to the existence of Israel. After 5 years of detention in Pakistan, the controversial nuclear scientist Abdul Qadir Khan admitted that he passed top-secret material to build nuclear weapons for Libya, North Korea and Iran. Israel already holds potential plans to launch an air attack on Iranian nuclear facilities. These secret recordings show how Israeli Air Force has harboured plans to attack Iranian nuclear facilities for over a year. The Israelis possess hundreds of bunker-breaking bombs, with the aim to strategically disperse these on Iranian's nuclear installations.
I guess the targets are there are so many smaller targets. Some of them maybe cannot be attacked. I don't know. There's no single place that could do a simple one-time mission that could do the job. I think that the political situation is more complicated.
My belief is it is going to be difficult, much more difficult than attacking the Iraqi nuclear plant back in '81 by Israel, but it's not impossible. And it is a bit easier for the United States, more difficult for Israel. And there are several problems involved in this difficulty. One is, for Israel, is a distance. From Israel to the Iranian border is about 1,000 kilometers. Now you have to add several hundred kilometers until the area of the nuclear site, which is more or less in this area.
Yet Israel has experience of a surprise attack on nuclear facilities. It's June 7th, 1981, and this is Operation Babylon. 14 Israeli fighter jets fly into a high-risk secret mission. Their goal is to attack the Iraqi nuclear reactor in Oziraq, near Baghdad. These are recordings of the attack by Israeli fighter pilots. Without accurate maps, it takes 1 hour and 50 minutes of flight over enemy territory to find their goal. Behrooz Bayat warns that a military strike against the Islamic Republic would have incalculable consequences.
Ich glaube, dass klassisch mit klassischen Mitteln.
I don't believe such an installation could be destroyed through conventional weapons. If nuclear force was to be used against it, then we'd be talking about 3 million dead from Iran to India.
Von Iran angefangen bis hinein in Indien.
According to the US General of Staff and the Israeli service, Iran would be capable of producing nuclear weapons within a very short period of time.
They have the all independent knowledge needed to Iran to achieve a nuclear military bomb. They have it. So now it's a time of the decisions. Between 4 to 6 months, they will have the capacity to build a bomb. And I'm not sure that the military intelligence community in the world will have this information in 4 to 6 months. So this is a point of decision, that they will do it or will not do it.
Israel fears a nuclear arms race if Iran's program continues.
Imagine that Iran has nuclear capabilities. Well, of course, Iran will not remain the last country to have nuclear capabilities. Then you have Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Turkey. So this region is such a tough place without this kind of nuclear capabilities. Just you can imagine what will happen if the nuclear weapon is being introduced.
The question is, can diplomacy continue to be the international policy on Iran's nuclear technology? The United Nations have announced that as Thursday's meetings with Iran yields no progress, tougher sanctions rather than military actions will be most effective. But Israel's military remains vigilant and hostile to negotiation. They will wait no longer than the end of the year for an answer.